Alright, welcome to lesson 1. In this lesson we're going to be covering basically what I'm going to just call the basic flourish. And this is just this, downwards and upwards. And this is really the foundation for downward figure eights and upward figure eights. So this is an essential skill to have really for a lot of the other moves that are going to come, especially the Bobby Anakin spin, the plum flower, all of that. So this is really an essential skill that you need to have. It's very, very simple to do. The TPLA covers this a lot. I may do a slight variation of it here and there, but it's essentially the same thing. All you're going to do, just squirrel, all you're going to do is take it, and my saber actually has choke points, which makes this a lot easier and a lot smoother. If yours doesn't, the thing I want to warn you against is gripping the blade or the hilt very, very tight. This is not a death grip move. Your wrist and your fingers have to be very loose for this to make it look good. And if you're gripping the thing in a death grip, it's not going to look good at all. It's going to hurt your wrists. It's just going to look nasty. So you want a very loose grip for this. Not so loose that it just falls out of your hand, but most of the way I'm gripping it is between my thumb and my index finger. You know, I can do this without the other three fingers, but they do rest on there just to help control it. So, we're going to start with the downward. Now, in the TPLA version of this, there's a pumping action to it, which is like that. I'm going to cover more the wrist aspect because that really helps it build fluidity or smoothness, I guess. I mean, that pumping action is useful when you're doing the figure eights, but for this I'm just going to focus mainly on the wrist. So, hopefully you can see this. You're going to grip very loosely on the hilt. Now all you're going to do is when it goes down, you're going to slightly open your hand. Again, controlling it mainly with your thumb and index finger. So down and up. Down and up. Down and up. And it helps to give it a little momentum start, like that. Just like that. It's very, very simple to do. Again, work on getting the correct coordination down before you try to do it full speed, because it may end up flying out of your hand, hitting someone or something. So again, I'm not letting go of the hilt. I'm still controlling it with my thumb and index finger. I'm just simply loosening my grip on the downstroke. Same as in the upstroke. That comes around, I loosen my grip, and controlling it basically with my thumb and index finger. Now watch my wrist when this happens. Look at how loose my wrist is. Okay. Now if I were to do this rigidly, you really can't do it rigidly. It just looks bad. So that's what I mean by keeping that loose wrist. Okay? That's really all there is to cover with this move. It's the most basic move there is. It's the foundation for a good 70 to 80% of all the other moves that we're going to be covering. So you really want to get that down both left and right side. Okay, again, it's just an essential skill to have. Just spend some time doing this. Upwards and downwards, back and forth. Just building that coordination in the wrist. Okay, so that's going to be, I mean, if you already know how to do this, then, and if you're comfortable doing that, then obviously you don't have to work on this as much, but it always does help to work on the fundamentals. Just being able to do this smoothly. Another thing this does is it helps build your wrist and forearm strength. Now obviously not really with this because this is a very light hill. It's almost weightless in my hand. Um, especially when you don't have the choke points. If you have just a straight shaft, like my other one, the dark standard issue, then the choke points, they don't take as much weight away, so you feel more weight in the hilt. So just work on that, and that's your basic. Next video we'll be getting into the downward figure eight and the upward figure eight as well. Okay, so practice that. I'll see you in the next one.